So we just got some breaking news, and I was in the middle of making a video for you guys before, but I guess this video is going to have to wait. It's about the Golden Tate and Jalen Ramsey situation, and I literally paused that video to make this video because I felt like, well, why not get two videos out to you guys today? Before we get to the content, man, sack that like button for the YouTube algorithm because you guys are probably going to get a double upload today. And I'm also giving a PlayStation 5 away to one of my subscribers that turned on the notification bell on this channel. That's all you have to do to enter. And I'm also doing multiple PlayStation 5 giveaways on Instagram and on Twitter. So you guys have a lot of chances to win PS5s. Link to the other giveaways are in the description down below as well. Good luck to everyone, and thank you guys so much for supporting my YouTube career. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Texans fans, come over, bring over some Pabst Blue Ribbon, some Bud Light, and some White Claws, baby, because we have a party to get to and we need to celebrate. It appears as though the Houston Texans have officially fired head coach and general manager Bill O'Brien. And the reason why is fairly freaking simple. The guy pretty much ruined the roster and has no idea what he's doing with the transactions that he's made up until this point. And shout out to the Houston Texans because they literally just saved Deshaun Watson's career. I mean, I'm a Cowboy fan and I know we're rivals with the Texans, but dude, I feel like I'm literally watching a potential Hall of Fame quarterback's career get dismantled right before our very eyes prior to this firing. Now, the source for all this comes from Adam Schefter, and the reason for this firing is very simple. After trading away DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson and saying, hey, don't worry, I'm a quarterback guru and an offensive genius, Bill O'Brien has gone 0 for 4 this season. But get this, even if the Houston Texans tank, and even if the Houston Texans have a top 5 pick this year, it doesn't matter. They don't have a first round pick. They don't have a second round pick this year. And that's probably the reason why Bill O'Brien got the boot. And again, Bob McNair, I don't know if Bob McNair is still the owner of the Texans. I'm just saying this off the top of my head. Shout out to you, honestly, because it's really painful to see what's going on in New York with Sam Darnold and Adam Gase. And the New York Jets feel like it's very important to hold on to Adam Gase because they don't want to potentially ruin Sam Darnold's development by bringing in multiple coaches over and over and over again. But in the Houston Texans situation, it did take them some time. And at first, you could make the argument that Bill O'Brien was just being aggressive for the sake of being aggressive. He gave up a lot of capital in order to bring in a left tackle, Laramie Tunsil, in order to protect Deshaun Watson. And although he gave up a lot of capital to do that, in the form of 2 first-round draft picks, which, by the way, congratulations, Miami. It looks like that pick is going to come back to you guys sooner rather than later. And if it's really bad enough, you guys could get the best tackle prospect in this year's NFL draft, which is Penei Sewell out of Oregon. That trade may have been necessary in order to protect Deshaun Watson, but it appears as though Bill O'Brien was an okay coach. A very okay coach. I think the issue was when they decided to give Bill O'Brien coaching and general manager duties, and it's very strange how eager a lot of these teams are to hand over head coach and general manager duties to these coaches, especially when they're fairly unproven just based off of how good their name is and how well established their connections are. In Bill O'Brien's case, probably the reason why they gave him the head coaching and general manager duties to begin with was the fact that he has ties to Bill Belichick. The New England Patriots gave Bill Belichick the opportunity to be the head coach and general manager of the New England Patriots probably after 9 years after he was hired. And for the most part, he's done a great job with it, but I feel like he's the exception and not the rule. Now, in terms of the man that's in charge from here on out, it's going to be Romeo Crennel, the former head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs during the worst years of the Kansas City Chiefs' entire decade. No, these are some really bad years to be a Chiefs fan. We're talking about 2012, 2013. Romeo Crennel was also a head coach for the Cleveland Browns. He wasn't really that great, but I guess at this point, it's better to just sever ties with the man that is clearly destroying your organization. Letting a former number 1 overall pick go for pennies on the dollar in Jadeveon Clowney ruining his stock is already bad. Letting DeAndre Hopkins go when you don't have to pay him for another couple of years and trading him for a halfback that hasn't been productive in the past 4 years is also really freaking bad. And then going ahead and pretty much acquiring multiple of the same wide receiver in the form of Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb and not really having a good game plan around them to make sure they could succeed is also really bad. So it does make a lot of sense why Bill O'Brien got fired. Originally, earlier today, it was said that Bill O'Brien is going to be doing a little bit less of the play calling, but now it seems as though Bill O'Brien is probably going to go back to New England and maybe serve as an assistant underneath Bill Belichick once again. That's my guess, at least, or he might go back to college football. In terms of where the Houston Texans go from here, well, at least they have probably the biggest question mark about every franchise solved. Deshaun Watson is clearly your quarterback, and he's a phenomenal quarterback at that. He is a dual threat QB, and if you get him the right tools around him, then he's going to do really well. But they need to bring in a very good general manager that understands that he has his work cut out for him. You have J.J. Watt, who's a fantastic edge rusher, but is fairly inconsistent when it comes to injuries. You have a great quarterback on the offensive side of the ball and a pretty serviceable left tackle in Laramie Tunsil. You have David Johnson, who has shown flashes of greatness, but clearly cannot carry an offense where you need him to go. And you have absolutely no draft picks to work with over the next couple of years. So the Texans have some work to do, and it's really a shame because about 2 years ago, this was a team that had a star QB, a star wide receiver, 2 phenomenal edge rushers. They had Tyrann Mathieu back then on a prove-it deal as well, and they had fairly serviceable cornerbacks. And it seems as though that entire team got completely gutted out just so Bill O'Brien could, play Madden with his Houston Texans. So I feel like the Texans, as soon as they acquire assets, they'll be a little bit better. But I think the most important part is they need to figure out a way to contend this year, because if they tank this year, they're going to tank next year. And it's just going to create a toxic culture. And that's not what you want if you're a Houston Texans fan. Now, if you are a Texans fan, let me know in the comment section down below. Who would you want as a head coach? Probably more than anyone. If I am the Houston Texans, the guy that I am eyeing as my head coach, and this could destroy another team if you do this, but I think it's a remarkable move that could completely shift the culture of an entire team because I've seen it happen twice. I am going for the offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens, Greg Roman. This is a man that went to San Francisco with Jim Harbaugh, took Colin Kaepernick and turned him into a star, took a player in Alex Smith who looked horrible prior to that and seemed like was a huge draft bust, completely changed the offensive system, made Alex Smith look like a star, and Alex Smith has a career to this day as a result of that. Then he went to Baltimore and took a quarterback that many people were saying should have been playing wide receiver and should have been playing running back, and eventually created an offensive system that led to this player that many people were deeming as a running back into a superstar and last year's MVP. So I don't think Deshaun Watson needs it, but I feel like the right coach will be able to take Brandon Cooks, take Randall Cobb, take Will Fuller, take David Johnson and Laramie Tunsil and the offensive line they have. Bear in mind, they also have Zach Martin's brother Nick at the center position. So there's got to be something in his blood and DNA, but I digress. Take them and turn them into an offensive powerhouse. And that's how you can start to shift the culture of your team. Go after Greg Roman. He's waiting in the wings, and he could completely dominate as an NFL head coach. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.